As somebody who works in development of the school, I'm constantly trying to think of ways to adequately portray the significance and the beauty of this mission to the community around us. I'm constantly trying to think of ways to provide a window for people to be able to see in, to our already current supporters and friends, to say, look at these lives that are being changed by your generosity. One of the ways I felt I could provide that window for people to see in was to share a story about a student who arrived at our doors earlier this year, and to share a little bit about our journey with him and his journey with us.
We got a call just before Easter last year from a family wondering if we had any space in grade 5 for their son, Aidan. We were actually full, but we brought them in for a tour to see if they'd like to be on a wait list. As per usual, Mrs. Burnham had a deep intuition about the needs of this child, Aidan, and she accepted him into her class, though she was teaching a different grade. She accommodated him where he was at and decided to cater to him. In the first few weeks, we realized that Aidan was carrying a particularly heavy load. He had a cough that was so persistent and so severe that it prevented him from really being able to play or interact much at all with the other students. He also had no voice. He was unable to speak, and it made it extremely difficult for us and the students to get to know him.
My name is Aidan. I go to Divine Mercy Catholic School, and I'm in grade 6.
So that cough and the no voice just persisted, and just caused complete frustration for him and for everybody else involved. And so then that's when I contacted school in April, after doing this for months and being at school and picking him up from school every day at lunchtime. And he would have been, some days he would actually bring up blood from coughing or throw up, or whatever the case may be. And just it was time for a change. So that's when I contacted the school, and Mrs. Burnham said he could start Monday. And that was on a Friday.
He was nervous. I mean, we were terrified because it was like, we kind of felt like this was our last, well, for me, it was the last chance. Like, where does he go?
After a while, we started to realize that Aidan's coughing and his insecurities, his lack of trust, was due to some things that happened in his past experiences at school. We know that it says in the scriptures that Jesus heals the brokenhearted. He hears the cry of the poor. He binds up people's wounds. And we knew that Aidan had all of these things inside of him. And we all have brokenness in one way or another. But Aidan's was very evident at the time. Everyone who came into the school was able to see it and were worried about him.
Like when I was coughing, my confidence was low because I thought that people were gonna make fun of me and kind of say what's wrong with this kid.
I would often send some of the boys in my class to go in and help him with his math, or to sit and chat with him just so he wouldn't be alone. And didn't realize it at the time, but that was building some good friendships for Aidan.
In my first few weeks, I noticed that the kids were nice. The work was a lot harder, a lot more homework.
It was just absolutely heart-wrenching to have a child in the school whose coughing, whose consistent coughing and inability to speak prevented him from getting close to other kids, prevented him from enjoying his days. And I remember days sitting right here in this chapel with him, watching him in so much pain as he coughed and coughed and coughed and was unable to even sit in a classroom. I remember my heart absolutely breaking. I remember sitting here in front of God saying, God, this is your guy. You are able to reach him in ways that we absolutely cannot. And so if we, as a school who believes in love, can consistently give him love and mercy, you need to do the rest. You need to do the healing, because we're unable to reach him.
We really, actually, and genuinely believe that authentic experiences of love that are consistently shown and consistently given can reach places inside of people that nothing else can. We continued to journey with Aidan. Mrs. Burnham assured him regularly that she would not ever give up on him. The students prayed for Aidan in prayer time each morning. The entire school was rooting for Aidan to be freed of his cough and for him to be able to speak again and express himself. Slowly, as time went on, we started seeing Aidan be a bit more himself. He began trusting the staff a little bit more. One day we would see him laughing with the kids in his class. One day we would go an hour without hearing his cough, and all of these small victories were met with complete rejoicing from the staff and the students.
One day, Aidan was lining up with the other kids outside the door in the morning to come in. And everybody was kind of hushing everybody to be quiet, so that they could enter the school quietly. And all of a sudden, from the quiet of the students outside, I hear this voice that I did not recognize because I had never heard it before, say, "Good morning, Mrs. Burnham." And I looked, and it was Aidan. And I couldn't believe it. Tears just filled my eyes, and as he smilingly came up towards me, I just hugged him and said, "Where did you get that voice?" He told me just before his voice came back that he had said a little prayer, and he said, "Just a little prayer." I said, "It wasn't even 30 seconds long." And I asked God to heal me, to help me to get my voice back. And God heard the cry of the poor.
It's clear that she spent the time with him on the consistency and the structure and the love when a lot of people couldn't give that to him. I don't know where that would have happened otherwise. I don't.
Just a regular kid here. He just seems, now it's not a special kid that coughs and who leaves class and goes to appointments all the time. Now he just goes to school and it's just normal.
The work of Divine Mercy is so essential. To me, the work has just begun. And the only way that we can continue is if we continue to have this connection between people who are generous to the school in order to make it so that this school exists to continue transforming the lives of young people.
Aidan is one of 110 students at Divine Mercy this year. Aidan's story was particularly beautiful in that it showed in a very visible way something that takes place in all of us. We strive at Divine Mercy to approach every student the way that we approached Aidan because we believe that we truly become ourselves when we know day in and day out that we are loved and that we belong. We strive to love, pray for, and tend to every student at our school. Our academic excellence and the success of the school is because we know that being loved is the key and the foundation to being fully alive in every way.
I thank the community of DMCS for being nice and helping me get my voice back and start helping me be able to stop coughing.